Welcome, dear young doctors, those who are just joined AIMS Bhopal. So, on behalf of AIMS Bhopal, entire faculty of this institute, and my own behalf, I welcome you all to this beautiful campus and the beautiful city. I am sure that you all know that for the last 1.5 year, we are struggling with the COVID epidemic, and that is the reason that usually I used to welcome all young joinees in the very first month of their joining. But this year we have not been able to, and even then we are interacting through virtual mode. This workshop our CMET has organized for you, especially to understand that what is the research and why research should be done. Because as you all must be knowing, in our DM, MCH and MDMS, since 1985, this has become mandatory that all PGs and post-PGs, super specialty cases, the students, they will have dissertation. DM, MCH, they usually in AIMS Delhi they have two, but here we are going with the only one, and MDMS they have one research thesis. So now the coming to this workshop, this is very important, and I think then when the question comes of the research, usually because you all are fresh MBBS, most of you, some might be having some experience, but most of you are fresh, passed out. So it is usually whenever there is a question or discussion, or when the word comes that research, it is presumed that research is a subject of basic scientists, those who do MSc and PhD, and doctors are not supposed to do research. Sometimes it has also been seen that the basic scientists also, they think that doctors cannot do good research. This I am saying from my own experience. In one of the university, we were interacting, and then somebody was reading my CV, and very funny story, of course, but this is very pertinent to tell you today. So then after knowing that I have published a good number of publication, something like 300. So the vice chancellor of that university said that, which year you did PhD? So I said that, sir, I have not done PhD, I did my MD. So he said, no, how it can be? You must have done after MD PhD, because a doctor cannot do this much research. So that is what I am trying to say, that usually the concept is that doctors cannot do good research, or they usually do not concentrate on the research. So but let me tell you that doctors can do even better research, because your research will be applied research. You are not expected to search a new molecule or a mechanism of that molecule, how it works, or inside the cell what pH does and how it kills the bacteria or lysosomes and all these things, even though some of you might be interested to know. But usually most of your research topics will be such that usually these are related to the day-to-day and clinical experience. Now, then question comes that why, what is the need of doing research when the basic scientists can do research? Here, I would like to share with you and again re-emphasize that your research will be quite different than a basic scientist does. The basic scientist, they do wonderful work and wonderful research in understanding the subject and the nitty-gritties. But often it has been seen that they cannot translate their innovations or their discoveries or their hypothesis on the patients. And therefore, here your role comes. We know as a doctor that there are many instances where there are no diagnostic modalities. You cannot diagnose some of the diseases. Even if we know that they are there, they are very difficult, either very difficult or very costly, or done at very few centers, sometimes in the world. Now, the recent and very current example I will give, which is, of course, it is coming because the today I am recording, and today Forda is having protest against Ramdev. Now, if you remember that Ramdev gave some questions that the allopathy does not know about this disease or that disease, and even if they know, there are no treatments. Now, this kind of things we know, but the modern medicine never says that we know each and everything. That I believe that the beauty of the modern medicine. Modern medicine typically works on the basis of science, not on the basis of myths or generations or marketing. So this is about Ramkishan Yadav, what he thinks about the modern medicine, because he has collected huge money from his business, which is tax-free. Some of my friends also, they have seen his setup and they were so impressed. And another day I was discussing that having the excellent infrastructure does not mean that you are doing a good research and which is applied and this will do good for the humanity. It might be good for business, for some propaganda, but not necessarily. I am not saying that you don't require good infrastructure for the better research, but this is not directly proportional. There are several examples, including myself, where from very humble beginning, people have done wonderful research, which made breakthroughs. You are lucky that you have wonderful infrastructure. Some of you might be knowing that this year a new department has also been created, that is Center for Translation Medicine. All 7 faculty members, they are outstanding researchers. This is unique facility or department or center in the entire country. And I hope that this will go a long way in the clinical research. These scientists, all of them, they come from basic sciences background. But now, this I realized when this was my dream when I was in AIIMS Delhi. Because most of our research was of course applied, but many a times we had to take help of Delhi University or ICGB or other institutes which are very good in basic science. And they used to mutually take patient samples and all this. Now, with that experience, I thought that why not we should have our own faculty, our own department and own center, which you don't require a understanding, MOU signing, consent and that kind of things, because they are your brothers. They will be working here. So ask your faculty members, those who are supervising you, if they want, definitely these 7 outstanding scientists in the translation medicine, they can also be helping hand to you. Now, coming to the basic question about this workshop, why a doctor? Again, I am coming to the same point. Why a doctor should do research? Now, as I said, that the diagnostic is one issue. The second is, I have already explained to you. The another issue is treatment. The Ramdev's example I was saying, that many of the diseases, we don't have any treatment in modern medicine or any medicine, because there is no proven or scientific evidence that, like some genetic diseases, they cannot be cured. But some people, they might only claim, but scientifically not proven. And therefore, it is very important that you should be focusing in life. It is not necessarily because this COVID period, your period is only 3 years, so how much research you will be able to, because already almost 6 months are gone, and I don't know how many of you have been allotted or you have discussed that even the title or the topics of your research, they have been decided or not yet, because to my knowledge it is not yet done. But some of your supervisors, they have done it. That is really appreciable, and I hope that you will concentrate on that. But still, I would say that after this 2 months second wave, and then maybe we are expecting that maybe third wave also might come, and therefore it may not be you may not get full 3 years for the research. In any case, you have to submit the thesis after 30 months, and to get yourself registered or allowed for the final MDMS, or if it is a DM, then of course 18 months. So how much time you will get? But what I am saying, this is for future. The doctors can also be very good, excellent scientists. Now, to become a scientist, you have to be curious to know. There are some of the things. That one is, of course, is what is happening inside, why it is happening. That is very important. So you should, there are many conditions, or where where we don't know. Literature also doesn't know. So you have to put the basic information together and then try to find out that why it is happening and why so far the people have not been able to find the cause or the proper remedy. So that is very, very simple kind of you know, prerequisite, I would say, for a researcher. So then the second thing is that you should be critic in yourself. Most often what happens that you think that there is no diagnosis for this, or there is no treatment for this, but you have not been careful in searching the proper literature. Many times several papers, because being the editor of 4 journals, I also know sometimes people will say that is this data is for this particular district or this particular region. Such things, I think you have to be, this is possible only when you are critic of yourself. What I mean to say, that you just write something, your thoughts, one day, just forget it. I am saying very, very important. Forget about 7 days. Just, depending on your recall memory, 7 days or 10 days, don't touch. You will realize that it makes a lot of difference. So what you have written, so after 7 or 10 days, or even maybe I would say even 15 days, so prepare in time, don't touch these papers. And then again, you dig out these papers, what you have written, and then you read again. You will find that I have done many mistakes. And there is not only grammatical, but also thoughts. What thoughts you have written, they are not correct. And there is lot of, this can be information. You might have in these 7 or 10 or 15 days, lot of information you might have collected or heard or discussed with your colleagues and seniors, or you yourself might have thought that this can be happen because of this, and therefore probably this is not an innovative idea. When the question comes, the innovative idea, research leads to innovation. So innovation and research, there are two things, but both are connected. The research leads to innovation, but innovation cannot happen without research. The innovation leads to application. There are several, examples. For innovator to become an innovator, you need not to have any infrastructure or any facility, any equipment, but only you have to be curious to resolve the issue. So one is research. In research, you try to find out why it is happening and what is happening inside, or in other words, we can say that what is the cause of this disease and why treatment is not available. The innovation is something different, but of course related. In innovation, your vigil and your curiosity to resolve the issue is most important. So say for example, there are multiple examples. In 12th physics and chemistry, you might have read plenty of these. Like the best example we can give, the Jenner's example. Some of you may be knowing, but not all, I expect. The Jenner was a simple farmer, and in his village, that what he realized that there was a lot of pox those days, and then he realized that the farmers, the cows, when they are having this kind of lesions, the pox, and if they are milking these cows, they are not having this pox. So he was curious to know that why it is happening. The whole, the other people are having pox, but those who are milking the pox, cows, they are not having. So this has something to do with the cowpox. So probably he thought that cowpox is saving them from the getting infected with the, of course, that time the infection, etiology and all these things, they were not known. But still, he thought that something, the cowpox is protecting the humans to get pox. And then he took little, fluids from the cowpox and inoculated in humans, and they got protected. So you can see that no infrastructure, no research work he did, but he was very keen observant. So for innovator, you have to be observant. Your observation and curiosity to find the solution makes you innovator. Newton, another example, physics. I am sure that everybody you might have read, who doesn't know Newton. He was sitting one day and he was little, thinking something, and then he realized that some of the fruits, why they are coming down, why they are not going this way or that way, why they are coming straight down. So these are some of the examples. There are many examples, but some of these examples are there. Therefore, I think you have to be a researcher mind and a problem solver. If you really want to a great researcher and innovator, it is not necessarily that the residents who are doing MD or MS in basic departments, they can. In surgery also, there are plenty of the surgical innovations people have made. Neurosurgeon Dr. Chavda's name and all these, there are plenty of things. People, even from India also. So whether it is a sun operation or the operations, surgical, stitching or bloodless surgery or anything. There are many examples where it is not only to basic medical scientist. One was basic scientist, then is medical basic science scientist, and then clinical scientist. So once you have MBBS degree, irrespective which department you are doing MD/MS, you can use your medical background and make yourself a good researcher. For that, you have to be a very keen observant, and also you should be able to think beyond. I said for innovator, Jenner's example or Newton's example I gave. So then it is also important that one episode or one happening should not prompt you to consider or to presume that it is happening like that. You must see that if there is some pattern or trend, and what are the sequence of events they are happening, and if they have any association. Like the current example, I am sure that Someday it will be known, but right now we none of us knows. But I expect that some of you will take this topic also. The mucormycosis. There is a trend that, of course, after second wave of COVID, the number of mucormycosis cases increased. There is also a pattern, but pattern is being little questioned. The pattern was earlier that we all thought that only those who are on high doses of steroids and diabetics we know that mucormycosis, in any case, those who are having ketoacidosis, because ketones are very essential for the growth of mucor, and therefore those who were uncontrolled diabetes and those even the fat people having ketoacidosis, they were also used to get mucormycosis. So it is well known. It is not for the first time it is happening. So it is not a new disease, but definitely now the number of cases, the way they are increasing, this indicates definitely is very important pattern and trend. Both are there. But again, question is that there are how authentic these studies are, but we don't know that actually this is associated with the steroid therapy, diabetes with steroid therapy, or mask, or hospitalization, or use of some herbal drugs, tea, kada, that kind of things. So I have given in one group of your teachers, I shared my views. One night I was thinking, so then I said that if any of you would like to take up this kind of thing, that all the patients, those who are admitted with mucormycosis, we should see that many things are being associated. Of course, these two are very important, steroid and the diabetes. But beside these, people are also saying that probably the mask, they were unused or used, we don't know. Spurious mask or reused mask. Also, people are saying that maybe the swabs used for taking the samples, they could be contaminated. But all these are theories. We don't know how many of us have thought that swabs should be cultured or masks should be cultured for the mucor. These are the things which are very simpler research questions, but they can lead to a very significant knowledge. And then it is very important that once you have got some idea, because we are talking of the modern science, we are not talking of the ancient medicine, that this is my medicine, my generations, my father gave me, and I will not give the formula. So share your thoughts with your batchmates, your teacher, of course. You might be thinking something that it is novel, it is not done by anybody, it is not studied by anybody else before me. But your teacher or your colleague might say, no, I have seen this paper. This has been done, and what you are thinking is not correct. So never hesitate in discussing with your colleagues and, of course, your teacher. Because teacher is obviously more experienced than you, so he might give you some idea, because you might have thought, you might have researched, as I already mentioned, but still with his or her experience, he will tell you that how correct you are or you are not. Then, of course, once your title or the topic has been decided, then the question comes that what solutions you are thinking or what the objectives you are making, and whether these are feasible, doable or not. And then if they are doable, how you will do these, and if it is of course patients, then statistics also becomes very important. And we don't have biostatistics department, but uh, these days most of the biostat formulas for your level, they are available freely, and in the library also you can get, but obviously your colleagues and collaborators and co-guides, they can help you. Now then, pre-test it little bit, do some work that you know uh, what is the impact, what are the various objectives, how you are going to do it, and if you require anybody from other departments, as I said, that say for example, if you are doing mucormycosis cases and you are DM in pulmonary medicine, just giving examples, so nothing specific. But obviously, for that to grow the culture, mucor, you will require help of a microbiologist. So talk to somebody with your permission of your guide, that somebody from microbiology is also there. Now, if you are obviously looking for some specific immune parameters or some other parameters, then also you might be asking help from biochemistry or other departments. So therefore, it is very, very important that you should look for how your objectives will be met, how methodological you are, and of course, what are I am saying, that all these things you must discuss with your guide. That is of paramount importance. But you, all these things you should give and discuss with your colleague, with your uh, thesis supervisor. But these are the some of the thoughts which you must know. If you require, of course, there are some research studies where you will require the costly uh, equipment or costly consumables. Many a times we actually for we extend most of the MD, MS, and DM thesis protocols are supported by intramural or the departmental funds. So you also need to think about that your proposal should not be of that expensive nature that your guide is not able to meet your expectations, and then uh, at later stage you find it difficult. So 2 3 things when you are designing, it is important that you should use the doable methodology. You should analyze the statistically significant number of cases or samples or whatsoever it is, and then you should also see that time limit you have, and what is the prevalence of that disease, and how many incident cases you can see. So that is also very, very important. And after all these things you have discussed, then obviously if you require um, that animals shall also be required for your research, then it is very, very important that you should also know that animal experimentation is very, very crucial in all types of research, whether it is a basic science or medical science. For that, you should also read the animal science and experimental animal, what exactly, if you Google it, you will find it out. So there are various animals, but most important thing for you is to know that which animal, but the animal not necessarily which somebody has said it is a good animal to do studies, is a model for you. Model for your disease, not necessarily good for another study. So, two diseases and good animal, they are not necessarily replicable to you know each other. So that is very very important, and I think you should also know that what is the model. Model means it is not a simple animal. Many a times people think that animal means model. A model means animal. No, it is not correct. Model means this can be any living, non-living, and when we talk of animal models, then of course this should mimic the disease what you are looking for to study in the humans. So that is very very important. So model is animal, but of course not all animals are good models for your study. So now when you are designing your studies, always think, I have been for more than 30 years nominee of CPC SEA, which is Government of India's you know council. So for that, the life and death and animal right, these three things are important. So life of humans, by using these animals, how many lives you can save of humans, how many deaths you can avoid, and then it is also equally important that the animal rights are also respected. The commonest animals are mouse and rat and guinea pigs. We have the facility here, animal house. There are other animals which are not here, so I will not discuss on those. But if any of you want to, I will be happy to, if you send your questions or your guide wants. So I think with these few initial thoughts, I am sure that other colleagues who will participate in this workshop will take you through the all other aspects of this workshop, and I am also sure that this workshop will be highly useful for you. And I expect that even though the corona has curtailed your research period, but still try to, as I mentioned, try to finalize your thesis within time. Don't go beyond the scope. Our deanery has, we will make sure that the numbers, even though statistically they are not significant, but we will make something, some relaxations this year. So try to be practical, and so that your research and thesis is submitted in time. And I wish you all the best, and I hope that some of you will do some very significant study outcomes will come out, and you know you will make this institute proud. Thank you very much. All right, all the best.